The first alert came while I was making coffee. The notification blinked on my phone. A charge, or 10800, posted under my name. Raise my voice. Didn't snap the phone shut. I just held it, let the numbers sink in like stones in water. Mom had been so casual, so precise in her dismissal. "You don't need the money anyway," she said, tilting her head, smirking. If my entire financial life were a trifle. My sister, meanwhile, was bubbling with excitement, listing every port the cruise would touch, every spur treatment pre-booked. I smiled. I said, "Enjoy it." And I meant it, or at least, the smile. The house, the one I'd bought and kept partly because my parents needed a place, sat quiet in its usual half-shadow, given them a life rent, free, unpaid labor wrapped in a gift. Over the years, the quiet had shifted subtly. Depth of care turned into assumption, assumption hardened into entitlement. I spent a few days in deliberate calm, read the credit card statements carefully, examined the paperwork on the house, read the contracts that established my ownership. The law was on my side. That was the authority I needed, clear and impartial, immune to smirks. No threats, no emotional eruptions, just documentation and signatures. I made the calls I had to, filed the notices, arranged for escrow. Every step was measured, email precise. No gloating, no messages left behind. Only the quiet fulfillment of duty, the fulfillment of a long-standing obligation I'd never thought to enforce before. On the 5th day, while the cruise ship was somewhere between the Azores and the Mediterranean, the sale closed. A new owner signed the deeds. The keys were handed over. The house, which had once been a stage for their comfort, became someone else's property. Slept with the satisfaction that comes from correcting a balance, not from seeing someone falter. When they returned, the phone rang incessantly. 25 missed calls. The first few frantic, the later ones unsure, edging into disbelief. Answer immediately. I let the calls stand like stones in a pond, ripples traveling without me. Eventually, my mother left a voicemail, clipped and almost carefully neutral. "One need to talk about the house." I didn't call back. Instead, waited. The authority I'd invoked, escrow, signatures, contracts, now spoke louder than any lecture I could give. They finally saw the new owner in person. The realization settled. Their assumed control over my life, over my finances, over the house, had quietly, completely shifted. The reversal was unmistakable. There was no dramatic confrontation, no angry yelling, just the undeniable procedural truth. In the aftermath, I let them navigate the logistics with the new owner. I maintained distance, answering only the necessary questions. There was no celebration, no triumphal tone. The shift in power existed quietly, undeniably, sunlight on a table at noon, visible but without excess heat. I thought about the cruise repeatedly. I thought about their laughter as the waves carried them, their oblivious enjoyment. My reaction remained calm. The house was sold, the debt settled, the balance restored. I had claimed agency not through vengeance, not through malice, but through restraint and patience, and the consequences followed naturally, inescapably. We haven't spoken much since. The calls have slowed. I have not gossiped about it. I have not explained it. My parents are recalibrating, the way people do when authority asserts itself in a concrete, unmistakable moment. I am, at last, unencumbered, carrying the quiet dignity of someone who has learned that boundaries do not need to be shouted, they can be legally, calmly enforced. Sometimes I wonder if they will ever feel the weight of the 10,800 or the months of unearned comfort. Perhaps. Perhaps not. No longer matters. I smile when I pass the old house, now someone else's domain. That smile is not triumph, it is peace. Power has shifted, subtle and undeniable, without a spectacle. And in that quiet, I have reclaimed what is mine.